What's good, guys? So I feel like people really don't know the value of attributes. They're still coding in like data structures, tables, and having to build off their entire situation when Roblox gives us things like attributes so that we can make the process smoother, so that we can set things up quicker and be more efficient with our developing. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna go over some attributes with you guys real quick. Like just make something, real quick. So yeah, let's just do that. I'm gonna add a script in server script service, and I'm gonna add a script in starter player. Okay, so let me blow this up real quick. Yeah, all right. Um, So it's really simple. I haven't had a single issue with attributes. So if anybody has issues with attributes, let me know so I can look into that and see what's up. Oh, there is one issue with attributes that I've had. It's like when I was trying to get I had to wrap the attribute in a p call because when I was trying the way I was trying to get it just wasn't it just like errored. And so I had to wrap the attribute in a p call or the core logic of that function in a p call, and then return back if I actually got the attribute or not to continue the function or whatever. Yeah, so I did wrap the attribute in the p call, not like the whole core logic function. But yeah, so that was an issue I had with attributes. But that's like fine, whatever. Like I don't think that's an issue. I just think that I've had to wrap that motherfucker in a p call, you baby. All right, so let's see. We're just gonna create a part. Parts part dot size equals vector 3 dot new 1 1 1. Actually, this is not going to be a part. This is going to be a configuration. And then we're going to, yeah, it's going to be a configuration, right? And so we're going to say part set attribute stage equals 1, and then we're gonna have in a game dot run service dot heartbeat, you feel me, stat, and all right, okay. So this is what we're gonna do right now. We are going to say time elapsed plus equals 1 step. We're gonna have a time elapsed situation here, and we're going to say part if time elapsed is greater or equal to 2, then time elapsed equals 0. Part set attribute, we're gonna set it to stage equals part get attribute stage plus 1, and we're gonna parent this to replicated storage. All right, so we are now having this little, whatever situation going on. Let's give it a name. Actually, it'll be called configuration, so we can just use that. So now let's go to our uh, configuration equals game dot replicated storage, find first child configuration. If not configuration, then I don't know why I did it this way. I could have just said or, but whatever. You guys are able to see this now. It really doesn't matter for this video. Configuration, get attribute changed, signal, stage, connect, function. And what we're going to do now is we're actually going to create our own part equals instance.new part dot size equals vector3 dot new 111 part dot anchored equals true part dot parent equals workspace part dot position equals vector 3 dot new 555, so we can just see it clearly. And now we're going to current stage equals configuration get attribute stage, because we don't, for some reason, at least last I checked, we don't get the you know, the change or the value. We have to re-get the value in this function. I don't know why they didn't like just pass it through. I really have no idea. Like, this isn't really an issue, so I don't think it matters, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's a little bit weird, but it's the same thing with get property change signal, I believe. Like, you don't get the new property or old property, I don't think. Like, so it would be, I think it would be good if they added like old and new, you know. But let me see real quick. Current stage configuration get attribute state. All right, where was I just lost train of thought because of that. Oh yeah, so if or we could just do like, and I'll just show you that it works. So what we'll do is part.size equals part.size times 5. All right, so we're just gonna see that it works. And that's really it. And you're gonna see like the attribute stuff, and you're gonna see how it works. All right, so let's see if this works actually. I don't know if this actually I just don't know sometimes, dude. So it already changed. Oh, see, there it is, right? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Shit. Oh. All right. So it worked. Oh shit. Oh shit, it's still working. Oh. Whoa. All right, so that you can see, right? And this is just a configuration. Okay, so let me show you what it looks like in the Explorer. I had to look at what the freaking Explorer was called for a second. So configurations and replicated storage, right? And it's stage 6 now. It's still going up. And as it goes up, our part that we've created changes. Okay, this is a client side part. If I go to the server doesn't see that part whatsoever. The client does. All right, so this is what I love about attributes. Okay, it's so simple to set up. It's so simple to just set up. I don't need to create a remote event, which, you know, remote events can fail. Sending, you know, like server to client communication can fail. I haven't had this fail yet. Obviously, like server and client communications failing could be edge cases, whatever. Maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just don't even care. I just like attributes, bro. So this is, you know, but it's just really efficient. It's just really efficient, you know? It's just really efficient. I mean, I like doing this a lot more than I like, you know, let's say I'm keeping track of a table, local, my properties, you know, my properties equals table. Then I have to insert properties, add properties. I have to get my remote events set up. If I'm using remote functions, I don't know. I think, and also I would just never use a remote. I don't think I would ever use a remote function to the client back to the server. I don't know. I've never had a situation where I thought that would make sense. I seldom use that anyway. I mean, I'm still using Knit, which they use obviously their versions of remote functions, but um any freaking ways, dude. All right, so I mean, yeah, like it's just a whole process. I'm not even gonna type it out. Typing it out makes me wanna, act crazy. So it's just, yeah, this is just very simple to do, and you can do this for anything. If you have server authority, right? Like if you need information to be stored on the server, okay, so the client doesn't have full control or the client can't exploit or whatever situation. Me personally, I don't ever care about exploiting. I really don't care if people exploit a game. That's just part of games. But if you have somebody, if you want the server to have authority though, because like in a situation where it's hard to give clients authority because seamless gameplay. If we have something like a ball that needs to be in the same spot for all clients, well, giving the client authority is going to be very, very difficult and really impossible. It's never going to be 100% in sync for all players. So you got to keep that stuff like that in mind. So then that is why we do stuff on the server. And this is, I think, a good way to keep track of stuff on the client. It's just very efficient. This is what I use attributes for right now, and I like it a lot. I don't have issues with it. And it's really smooth to work with. All right. Something else I wanted to go over real quick. We'll do a 2 for 2, a 2 for 1, whatchamacallit. Is cleanliness of code. So there are some things in code, as you see, like obviously this is not telling. Like if somebody hops on here, or wait, yeah, like part, I guess this is telling. This configuration, this variable is not telling for what this actually is. It's a configuration. Why is it enabled part? It doesn't make any sense, right? So that's going to be hard to read if I were to go back over this code. So I just wanted to go over a few things of yeah, a few things of, hold on a second. So like let's say like if I have a return, this is one thing you can do, all right, that will make your code more readable. It really will. I didn't believe it at first, but it really will. And as I was exploring and learning and got more experience and branched out outside of Roblox and the other stuff, nobody else does these one lines. Like only the Roblox community does these like weird one-liners. Like if time elapsed is less than 2, then return. Okay. See, I'm such in a habit of doing like Roblox does the one-liners. I know Roblox does one-liners. I'm pretty sure they do. But it just doesn't, it's more readable when I'm going down like linearly trying to read quickly. It's more readable if this is over here like this. It really is. And it does make a difference. And I didn't think so at first until I stopped doing one-liners for like a week. And after like a few days to a week is when I was like, I looked back at it and thought about it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is actually making a difference. This is actually cleaner. And I don't think it's just something like, it's not freaking placebo, right? It's like what I noticed is when I would go back over code I haven't touched in a while, if I'm coming across a line like this, like just a one-liner, I'm going to have to look over. This is what I would do. So I don't know if it's different. Maybe people are aliens and they're able to like, look at the end and the beginning at the same time. But me personally, I have to look over here where this is. Versus if it's just like this, I don't. And I can keep scrolling and I can keep reading quickly, okay? It's all about the the smoothness of the read. All right. So this did make a big difference for me, a big enough to where I noticed and I was like, all right, this is actually more efficient. This is creating a smooth process. Okay. So this is one thing I wanted to get across to you guys. So this is one thing you could do to, I think, make your code cleaner. And this is the point, right? Clean, readable code. Okay. So this is the stuff I'm going over right now. Okay, so that's one. Variable names, time elapsed. If I have a lot of logic, hundreds of lines, thousands of lines of code, thousands of maybe dramatic, but some people have thousands of lines in their code. I don't know. And it is what it is, right? But let's say I had that many lines in my code and I have multiple variables of stuff I'm keeping track of, right? Time elapsed. Time elapsed. Monkey. Okay. Monkey can act. All right. Maybe I have a game where my monkey's acting and doing something, and I have a time variable of when I want that to happen. This is perfectly fine to have a variable this long. There's nothing wrong with it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words. There's really nothing wrong with it. I know this is time elapsed. I know this is for my monkey and if he can act or not, okay? There's nothing wrong with this right here. I don't know how it happened, but I feel like in this space people just get the idea of I need the shortest variable possible. I need the shortest variable possible. There it is. And that makes my code better somehow. It's just never the case. It makes it 10 times worse, 1,000 times worse. Or even like abbreviations. I never really abbreviate. I never really do abbreviations. So what is an abbreviation? So instead of button, you do button. Now, in this case, you're gonna know what button is most likely, but there's no need to abbreviate, and having that mental process where you're having to think just a little bit more can make a big difference on how efficient and smooth your workflow is overall. So if I come across this variable, I'm going to have to think even if it's a tiny bit more to know what it is versus reading this. It's immediate. There's no more thinking. The thinking's already done. I can continue to move on. Stuff like this does matter. Okay. So now let's say, what is this button for? Stealing popcorn button. Okay. Or button, if you want, button stealing popcorn. If you want now, because now we know button is now we immediately know this is a button. What is the button for? Stealing popcorn. I don't do it that way. I do the button at the end. Okay. I do the button at the end. Now, this is for if this is just how I like to do it. But now if we're doing a function that's going to be like on the button activated or hovering or whatever, we're going to do on stealing popcorn button activated. There's nothing wrong with it. There's really not. There's really nothing wrong with having like long variables. Now, if it gets even more crazy or like we have ridiculous like on stealing popcorn for specific player button activated, that's ridiculous. All right, like obviously this is way too long. We got 3 words we don't need at all. Okay, and we're gonna delete those. All right, and then but this right here, there's nothing wrong with this. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this. We know what the button's for. We know the on tells us that an event is happening. We know what event it's for. This is the event. And we know what button it is. We know it's a button. It's everything we need to know about this, whatever it is we're going over. It's all we need to know. Okay? So that is the point of writing code like this, is so that we don't have to spend extra time thinking. Okay? And I saw something in a Discord was about a video. I didn't even watch the video, but it just made me think about this. Is that he was like, don't write comments in your code. And it made me think of this, right? I barely write comments in my code. There's no need. Why do I need to? Right? Why do I need to write comments if it's literally in the freaking variable? It tells me everything I need to know. It's so readable, it's not even funny. So like, why do I need a comment right here for this variable? Why would I ever need a comment for this variable? I just don't. I never would. It's not needed. Unless there was a very, very specific thing, that I needed to know. And I didn't, and I wanted to save myself time by going through the whole function. Then okay, I'll write a comment. Or if it's something important that I want to highlight, I'll write a comment. But yeah. Anyway, so those are things that can really improve your readability. Now, another thing that can improve readability is pyramiding. Okay, so that's if you have if blah, then if not blah, then, and that's pyramiding. Okay, not pyramiding can dramatically improve the readability in your code. There's no need to do all these pyramids, and even we could get a little crazy. Now, I would never do what I'm about to show you guys, because this is just one indent, right? It does not fucking matter. But if I were to do if it's less than 2, like we did earlier, and then I could remove this, okay? But I would never do this. Because I would always have, like, the other way around, just because this actually makes more sense, especially if I have a lot more logic going on outside of this condition and I have more conditions I want to go over. So yeah. But like, let's say we get deeper and and stuff like that, and okay, yeah, then I would start doing this, right? There's just no need to do like a lot of pyramiding, like, ever. And it does like keep you from really understanding what's going on at a quick level, like very quickly. Like, yeah. All right, but that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to do for this video. I just wanted to go over these two things. Oh, use attributes. Use attributes. Oh, use attributes. And use good, clean code. It's going to save you a lot of trouble in the long run. If you guys develop these habits early, it's going to save you a lot of trouble in the long run, and it's going to help you become a better programmer. It's going to help you learn faster as well. Because what people don't understand is that by not writing clean code, what ends up happening is it can prolong the learning process. So if you're intermediate, beginner, even some advanced programmers, I would say, still have like kind of poor coding habits. And they just don't even like realize that it keeps them from a more efficient workflow and a more efficient learning process. Because even if you're advanced, even if you're top tier advanced, you're still always learning and developing. That's just one of the things. Like, you never know everything, never. So Yeah, but anyways, I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay locked in. Stay locked in. Stay locked in. All right, I'll see you guys. Peace.